Hey, hey, hey. Okay, cool. Welcome to Confessions of Being Fabulous with Priscilla Hawks, where we live, we learn, we grow. This is the 31 Days of Gratitude Challenge. We are on day 13, man. Isn't that crazy? Well, it's crazy to me because it feels like we just started the challenge and here we are 13 days in. It also lets me know this year is wrapping up, which is also blowing my mind because I feel like it was just January 2024 and now it's December 2024. So, anyway, thanks for being here. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you've tuned in before, thanks. I appreciate it. Um, Even if you tuned in for 5 seconds, I appreciate it. This is my first time going live, not today, but this whole challenge. I basically started it with the thought of, doing something around gratitude and then also just kind of forcing myself to go live because the channel is not new, but I've been posting videos, I've done shorts, stuff like that, but I've never gone live because I kept having all these excuses around why I'm not ready to go live and I don't have a big enough audience yet and all of those things. And some of that is true. I still don't have a very, very huge audience. But hey, we live, we learn, we grow. That's what the channel is all about. But anyway, so let's jump right into it. Today is day 13. Up to now, I usually give like a recap, but as the days are going on, the recap is going to take up like half of the video if I give it. So I'm going to just encourage you, go back to days 1 through 12 and see for yourself. Day 7, we had a whole holiday party. We set up something called the Gratitude Corner. Definitely check that out. I sang a few songs in that one. That one is long, so be prepared. Like get some popcorn. Take your time with that one. That's like a good hour and some change. I think split up over 2 videos from that day. It was a holiday party we were at. But the whole series, I feel, of course, I'm biased, but I feel has been amazing. So go back and check it out. But today we are talking in this day of gratitude, we're talking about taking ownership and responsibility. So the question is, who's responsible for your life? And I thought this would be a good topic because I remember a long time ago, I was receiving some coaching. I had signed up for this coaching program, and I think it was coaching, probably just general life coaching. I don't think it was segmented into any particular aspect of my life, but the coach segmented our sessions based on just common themes. So we had a session that was on finances, we had a session that might have been on career. We had a session that was on relationships and so on and so forth. And so one of the sessions, say a quick hello, Vinod, hello, Kokan, hi, how are you? I'm doing great. Moose, she needs a donation. I haven't requested any donations, but hey, if you just want to give out donations, and you raise a good point, actually, because what if I wanted to accept a donation on behalf of a charity right now? I couldn't. So I think you were trying to play me, but I actually appreciate the idea because I gotta be mindful of stuff like that and always be prepared with links. Thank you. See how I could flip it? I could flip it. I could flip it. Anyway, so this um, day on talking about responsibility, going back to this coaching session, she was asking me about responsibility over, I think at that time, we might have been like in the finances section of her, series of sections. And so the question was, who's responsible? If you pay your bills late, and somebody, a client or something like that, had not paid you, who's responsible for the fact that you're late? So at that time, I was like, you know, it's the person that was supposed to pay me. It's their fault that I'm late with my. It's their fault that I'm late with my bills because if they would have paid me, then I could have paid my bills. And she's like, absolutely not, boo. Absolutely not. You are responsible for paying your bills on time. You are responsible for your financial situation. You are responsible for budgeting, all of it. Like you are responsible. And it took me a minute to really like grasp that because I had been holding on to, at that time, I was a young Was I an attorney yet? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had passed the bar, so I was an attorney. I was a young attorney starting out, and I was trying to like, get clients and stuff like that. I had put a shingle out and started my own practice pretty early on, just because the economy had crashed and there were no jobs. So I jumped out there, but I was struggling. So if somebody like didn't pay on time, or if they said, "Hey, I want to sign up," and then they just disappeared, that affected me, man, because I was relying on that money to survive. So anyway, we were talking about that, and that was the first time I basically had the realization, like, I'm always at all times I am responsible for my own life. And so in that situation, we were talking about money and finances, and being able to meet certain obligations. It doesn't excuse these people for being late, for playing with me if they weren't really going to sign up for my packages or whatever. But that's a real part of life, right? So it would have been my responsibility to plan accordingly, and things happen. I was super young, things happen. So I didn't perhaps know exactly how to plan for stuff like that, at that point in time. I was new into not necessarily adulthood. I was like mid 20s, a little after, around 26 or so, when I first became an attorney. Um, but the point is, uh, are you are you built different? I think I'm built different, but that's another live. Let's finish this story. So right now, you know, some years later, that lesson has stuck with me. I am responsible for what's happening in my life at all times, regardless of what's going on. It's my responsibility. And so this also applies, because this is a gratitude challenge. We're talking about gratitude, and we're talking about how to make gratitude a regular part of our life. Gratitude is a lifestyle, not a one-time event, not, hey, it's Christmas time, I'm grateful because I got to, turn up with the crew, whatever. No, like, gratitude is a lifestyle every day, even when things aren't that great. Gratitude is a lifestyle. And so that lesson taught me that I'm responsible also for my happiness. I'm responsible for my mood. I'm responsible for the way that I feel about the relationships, the people that I allow in my life. I'm responsible for how I feel when they leave my life. Like, all of those things, I am responsible for it. So this is important, because once you really come to the realization that you are responsible for that, you now start to take ownership of all of it. You take ownership of how you love the socks. Thank you. I like fun socks. You take ownership over all of it, and how you navigate people, how you navigate situations, your friendships, um, even people that are in your life. You assess, like, do you need to be in my life like that, or is it time for you to make your exit, right? So all of these things, I feel like, down through the years, they have contributed to me being in a place now where, not to say I don't have bad days or anything like that. I'm human. All of that happens. But my bounce back game is kind of crazy, just because I've trained it to be crazy. I've trained it to, like, if I go through something, I'm going to give myself some time to, like, experience those emotions, because you don't want to hold stuff in. You got to let it out. But I also know I can't, like, walk around being sad and mad and, blaming every single day, because that's not healthy. That's not good for me. That's not the life that I want to live. And I also don't want to attract more of that. I don't want to meet somebody that's amazing and I'm still holding on to, like, old stuff. So I've trained myself to let go. And because I've done that, it's easier. I won't say it's always easy, but it's easier for me to live a lifestyle of gratitude. So my message for you on today is to take stock. And this is the challenge as we get to the 9 minutes and 25-second mark. I might actually finish this. Okay, I'm not going to finish it in 10 minutes because I'm still finishing my thought, but this might go slightly past 10 minutes. Let's see, go. So I always try to do this in 10 minutes and it hasn't happened, which is why I was laughing just now. But the point is, gratitude is a lifestyle. I want to encourage you to continue on this journey with me. And today's challenge is to take stock over the way that you view certain things when they happen to you. Do you look at it and say, oh, it's her fault? Oh, it's his fault? If he wouldn't have did that, then I wouldn't have been here. Now, some of those statements are true. People have done things to you that are wrong. You have been an actual victim in real life. So this is not me taking that away from you. But what I'm proposing is when it's all said and done, all you have remaining is how you feel about it, how you're sitting with it, how you're living with it. So are you sitting here and feeling and living with a bunch of feelings about this person or this situation that just don't serve you? And you know they don't serve you because maybe that's not a question that's easily answered. It's perhaps not serving you if you're not really able to move on. You're trying to move on in your love life and you can't. You're trying to move on in your career, but you're stuck it what that old boss did to you and the fact that you had to file a claim in court for whatever, for X, Y, and Z trauma that he called. Like, it might be real. So I don't mean to downplay it. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing because I'm, taking away from anything. But I do want to encourage you to take stock of the things that you're holding on to and the things where you might be saying, this person did this. So therefore, I'm going to walk around mad. I mean, you could do that. I just don't know. I don't know if that's going to be good for you in the long run. You could try it, but I'm just trying to encourage you to maybe try the opposite of that. Let's see what it feels like to take ownership of, you know what, this person did this to me 5 years ago, but they're not in my life, and I'm the one that's actually still holding on to it. That's difficult. It's difficult to kind of like put yourself in the seat of like, me, I'm doing something wrong here. And I'm not even proposing that you are. I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that's the reality for a lot of people. Something happened 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 years ago, and you're holding on to it today in 2024, walking around angry. Angry, but you feel justified in that anger. So you're walking around angry, but meanwhile, that anger is not allowing you to experience gratitude on a regular basis. And so, because you can't experience gratitude for the amazing things that are in front of you, the amazing people that are in front of you, I talked about the lady at a grocery store that I go to on a regular basis. She's such a sweet lady. I don't even know this lady, but she's just so sweet and kind, and she always has a smile on her face. I'm so grateful for her. But if I was consumed by other things, it'd be so easy for me to overlook her when I go to the grocery store because I'm thinking about the lady that parked next to my car and she put the shopping cart too close to the door. I'm pissed with her. You know what I'm saying? So we're making choices moment to moment. We're making choices about what we're going to focus on. And we're deciding moment to moment who's responsible for this. Who's responsible? And oftentimes we want to point the finger at somebody else. And we're not wrong, but ultimately the way that we feel about it, what we're holding on to, I'm responsible for that. You're responsible for that. Surprise! So I'm going to jump. We're at the 13-minute and some change mark. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Please come back. We are at day 13. I'm so excited. Tomorrow is day 14. On day 15, it looks like I'll have another event. I don't know exactly how I'm going to be incorporated there because that was kind of like something somebody saw the gratitude corner that I set up at that event. And then they invited me to be a part of another event in probably an unofficial way, but I'm going to take my microphones because you just never know. So we'll see what happens when we get there on day 15. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please come back. I appreciate the support in the comments. Let's see if we have anything else before we jump. Shadow. That's an emoji. So maybe that means you feel me. Thank you, Shadow. All right. So thank you guys. And that's it for the day. I wish you lots of fun, laughter, abundance in your life.